Yeah, I kind of wanted to actually just give a different point of view
please do.
on the whole thing, and that is that I think that the media doesn't seek to give us the truth so much as seek to gain money. What Ravil Sahib said earlier about humility, I think on their part, they want to sell. And what sells is controversy, bad news, someone that's done something bad. And it's their responsibility that they're not rising to, that they're not adhering to. However, it's twofold, because it's our responsibility to not be drawn to that. Because if we...
That's the fundamental problem. It's all very well saying that, but the media tells us this. But if it's all done on competition, right? If the media does publish things that are things that people are not interested in, they won't sell. The question for me is not so much the kind of conspiracy theories about how we're being manipulated by the media. It's about us. And about, I mean, if we're interested in what prurient things that people are up to or what they're doing in the privacy of their own homes, much more than we're interested in seeking truth, that's what the media will give us, because
we have the choice to make these decisions, don't we, of what sort of...
And I mean, it's the we as society, and it comes back, I can't remember, I think someone there said the point earlier, and it's just, in the break, I've been mulling over it a little bit and thinking that really it all comes down to this point about having a purpose. If you have a purpose, everything fits into that. I mean, it's this idea that everything that you're doing is in order to achieve a purpose, whatever that purpose may be. I mean, if we take truth as our particular purpose, and we, the society, the media, everyone has that in mind, then you've got a direction within which you're going.
I mean, that's an interesting point, because throughout the whole series, I mean, we discuss a whole range of issues. And something that's always common that comes through is that, you know, there are issues. It's down to your choice. You can go with this choice, you can go with that choice, but it depends on your purpose. It depends where you're trying to go to, and that's your sort of defining thing.
Because if you don't have a purpose, right, if you say that, well, I don't care about God, I don't care about, I mean, what's going to happen or anything like that. I'm a good person. I accept that I'm a good person, or I've got even a secular atheistic approach to morality, and I'm going to be a good person. What's wrong with being interested in things that are prurient, or things that are malignant, or things that are nasty? What's wrong with it? It titillates me, it excites me, it makes me interested. It appeals to the basis of humanity, which is always the easiest route to go down. I mean, we know from ourselves, I mean, it's much easier to be lazy than it is to be hardworking. It's much easier to be interested in things that are bad for you than things that are good for you. It's just the way that human beings are for whatever function.
It's good that I'm safe, whatever happening there, I'm safe. This is important.
Precisely. And so if that's all that you care about you feeling some sort of satisfaction, then that's the reason that all these
One
things
thing we touched on a bit earlier, sorry to just interrupt, I mean, we talked about hurting people's sentiments.
So I've got a shaking of the head there from what I said. Why don't we...
we'll go back to Tayyib a bit later on. I'm sure he's got something to add to that. But we're talking about people's sentiments and hurting feelings and how to express them the right way. For example, if you're seeing something in the media or, you know, in the newspaper or on TV, and you are offended by it, especially from the legal perspective, for us as individuals, what rights do we have to actually say that this has offended me and I want something done about that? Can you give us some sort of legal perspective?
Rights? Again, it comes back to responsibility. When it comes to people that have reacted or responded in a certain way to something that does offend them or does insult them. We have touched upon the freedom of speech being employed to serve a good purpose, or it could be employed to serve a negative purpose. We see nowadays, in order to grab attention, because of the ratings environment that we have in the world today, it's used not to inspire so much, it's used to incite hatred. It's not used to educate or to enlighten, it's used to offend and insult. Now, in order to know how to respond to certain things that are said that might offend us, the example that we have is the seal of the prophets, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And contrary to popular perception again, we know that the Quran constantly, in fact, it challenges people to, if they claim to have truth, to be in possession of truth, it says, well, if you have the evidence, provide it.
Present it, that's right.
And it provides the perfect soil in which that dialogue and that interaction can take place, hence the success of Islamic Spain, which followed. And again, it's not a question of just having freedom of information to debate and to aspire to reach the truth with a capital T, as we were mentioning earlier. How did the Prophet respond when he was attacked or when he was criticized? And we have a beautiful example from his life where who became known as the chief of the hypocrites, who spent his entire life undermining the Prophet, maligning him, ridiculing him. And the Prophet put up with it. Didn't say a word. And what happened at the time that the chief of the hypocrites passed away? the Prophet led his funeral prayer.
That's correct, yeah.
And he tried, I mean, there was a companion who tried to stop the Prophet to lead this funeral prayer because he said, this is a person who mocked you, who undermined you, and just challenged everything that you stood for.
That's right, yeah.
And even if you were to seek forgiveness from him for him 70 times, God wouldn't forgive him. And what did the Prophet say? If I have to pray more than 70 times, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's the example that he gave. And we see very similar examples throughout Islamic history as well.
Yeah. I mean, just recently, I mean, we had the episode with the whole Danish cartoons, and then the issue of freedom of speech came about and inciting religious hatred and things like that as well. So
Muslims are offended with these things. Just as a Sikh would be offended if Guru Nanak is attacked, just as Christians would be offended if Jesus or Mary have been criticized, it's a natural response. And for religious people and believers especially, these personalities are more dear to them than even our own parents.
Yeah.
And it's natural for you to feel offense if your mum or your dad has been attacked. It's natural. It's a natural response. Even more so when it's a prophet. But it doesn't mean we are justified in taking a violent course of action in response. Of course we're not. Yes, our feelings are affected, they're hurt, but there is a certain way of responding. So when Salman Rushdie wrote a book, the perfect response was to write a book in response to it.
Right.
If you're attacked with a pen, you respond with the pen. Simple as that.
Reveal's alternative, I mean, shouldn't the journalists who publish those cartoons have some sort of, responsibility, and shouldn't they have thought, actually, we shouldn't have published this?
If a person doesn't have responsibility, how you tell him that to have one?
Okay.
You see, in this response, I think he is not kind of pretending that he has this right. He really believes that he has the right to mock everything around him. Well, again, how you respond to this. Again, I remember one hadith when I think this Abu Bakr Siddiq was there with the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and somebody came there to mock and to insult Abu Bakr. And he was insulting him for so long, and the Prophet was sitting there ﷺ, and just smiling. And once Abu Bakr, broke his silence, opened his mouth to answer to this person.
That's right.
Prophet stood up and went away. And Abu Bakr asked him, what was
the reason? Yeah.
What was it? Once this person was insulting me with all these names, and you were sitting there and smiling, and when I started to kind of rebuke that, you went. And the Holy Prophet, he said that, when he was keeping silence, in response to his insults, the angels were answering for you. Once you opened your mouth, the Satan came, and the Prophet can't see where Satan is, and he went away. Isn't that the beautifulest thing there can be in all this? When whosoever he is, insults you or what you hold dear, and you see that whatever you say to him won't affect him anyway. Why not just keep silence? Let angels answer for you.
And at the same time, we've talked a lot about how Muslims react when they're attacked, or if their sentiments have been affected or hurt. There's also a lesson that Muslims are given in order to ensure that other people's sensitivities are honored and respected. I mean, the greatest sin in Islam is shirk, is worshipping more than one God. But even the Quran instructs believers, do not revile, do not mock the gods of others.
Right, okay. You have to have some sort of respect for them as well. Yeah?
Absolutely. So you need to respect others because of their belief and their traditions. And this is where Islam does stand out from the rest of the world religions.
Just on that point, I want to bring the audience back into this. We're talking about Muslims, how they react as well, but you're a group of Muslims yourself. So how do you feel, and how do you actually put those feelings into actions when maybe your sentiments aren't hurt? See, would you like to just comment on that?